What up, Sauce Gang, and welcome back to the channel. Hot Sauce Beats here with another dope Schlatt reaction because Schlatt just dropped another Did Schlatt Win episode, and this one is Flight versus Invisibility, and it has Ludwig on as a guest. I am beyond hype for this. I'm loving this whole argument debate channel that Schlatt has because these are some of the questions that we've asked our friends, family, and loved ones for decades, and Schlatt is trying to settle the dispute now. But before we jump into it, Did Schlatt Win? Did Schlatt win some love by subscribing to this channel? And if you enjoy my reaction, smash that subscribe button because it greatly helps. But enough talking, let's get to reacting and roll that bomb-ass intro.
Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Eat, sleep, make beats. Eat, sleep, make beats.
Hot Sauce Beats. Woo, woo. Oh, let's go, Sasuke. Is that a tongue twister? Did Schlatt win? Show some love. Did Schlatt win some? It's not a tongue twister. Okay.
My name is Schlatt, and I'm a little invisible guy. And I'm joined today by
Ludwig,
guy,
by the way.
Who's a little flight guy. He flies.
I would choose fly.
Yeah, I like flying.
Welcome back to Did Schlatt Win, everybody, where I
doesn't
urge
like
you to only vote based on how the arguments go, not how you feel about them.
Oh, okay.
Because honestly, last episode I argued with Tommy about how
That's a good point too, because a lot of the stuff that he was arguing with Tommy, I was on Tommy's side from the start, but Tommy didn't win any of the debates. Like, not even close.
many holes are in a straw. I blew him out of the water, and most people just voted on how they felt about it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Oh,
Does it feel good to Jake Paul your way through 3 easy pickings?
Why you Jake Paulin, bro?
Look, I have a confession to all the viewers of Did Schlatt Win. Most of the Tommy episode was questions and debates that I did with Ludwig.
What happened to the recordings of those, Schlatt?
Whoa, what?
Hour or so after we finished recording, I went to review the footage, and I was not recording my audio.
Oh, Cap! I'm guessing Ludwig won, didn't he? Come on, Schlatt, stop lying. Stop capping to your fans. Stop capping to your fans, Schlatt.
Yeah, that's what he says. Okay?
Exactly.
But top down, this is a farce.
Oh my God.
I filled every orifice you have verbally
Ludwig
with logic,
filled his holes.
facts, and destroyed
Verbally.
every single argument you had.
No.
You left talking to me, asking me about how many straw holes there were.
I did win those arguments, but unfortunately, you'll never be able to hear them. And so I kind of just transferred the arguments over to Tommy, and I beat him just as bad as I beat.
So you had a warm-up for Tommy is what you're trying to tell us. It's all making sense now, Schlatt. It's all making sense.
Ludwig that day.
Yeah.
Let's not dwell on the past, you know?
Let's not dwell on the past. Let's not focus on the fact that you've picked on 2 teenage British kids with no brains.
Today, Ludwig, we're talking about would you rather be invisible or fly? Nice little superpowers. What do you think?
I would rather
Flight
fly.
isn't the best superpower.
No.
But between the 2 options, flight is the best one for sure.
I would argue that it also is not the best superpower to be able to be invisible, but I think this is the better option out of the 2, and here's why. You know the government?
Yes.
You know how they like to fuck with people? Like they'll
That's true. 100%. I know where he's about to go with this. If you were able to fly, the government would lock your ass up, dude. But in hindsight, though, I mean, if you were able to be invisible and they somehow caught you, they would lock you up too.
they'll try and convince you that your sons didn't die, and then give you a fake son, and then when you try and tell them that this is not my son anymore, they're going to put you in a mental hospital and then lobotomize you through your skull, put an ice pick through your brain.
Less familiar with it, but okay.
They'll keep you in a cage if they see you flying, Ludwig. That's my point, and I think that's why being invisible is the better option. The U.S. government has loads of sonar and radar detection equipment, and they're aimed everywhere. You think they're not aimed everywhere?
So your big argument on why flight is worse than being invisible is not because being invisible is good.
No.
But it's because flight could get you trapped.
It will.
It will get you trapped.
Not maybe. It will. And Schlatt might win this argument for me because, again, if we're just going based off the argument, don't get it twisted. I am a flight guy. 100% I'd rather fly than be invisible. But I do agree with him. In the grand scheme of things, if the government knew you were able to fly, you wouldn't be free.
Because the American government.
I'm getting a call. Sorry. No one important.
Okay. Well, Schlatt.
Wait, hold on.
Oh.
Recording a podcast. What's up?
Oh, you said what's up.
Yeah, like message me back.
Your whole argument is predicated on the fact that the U.S. government would entrap anybody who shows the ability to fly.
Yes. If they don't shoot you down first,
Right.
you will be shot down. They'll take fucking fighter jets if they see you
might
doing
think
that
you're a
shit.
spy
Let me
balloon.
reach across the aisle here. I agree with you. They shot down a fucking balloon that was tracking the weather because it came from China. So I'm in the air for more than 5 seconds. Senate gets an emergency meeting. They shoot my ass down.
Exactly.
Not too dissimilar than how they would likely treat somebody that was invisible, because presumably if you were invisible, you'd be doing invisible things.
How are they going to get you?
Well, let's be real. We're talking about the American.
And I mean, just because you're invisible, you still put off a heat signature so they could still see you as any sort of a thermal gun or anything like that. Yeah, the government. And then they would just shoot you up with a blow dart tracker. And you'd have a tracker on you, and then you'd just be screwed.
Government. So if you probably are invisible, I bet your dumbass would have your phone in your pocket or some shit.
No.
No, you'd be really smart invisible guy.
I'd be fully naked, and I wouldn't be making a noise because I have enhanced lung capacity.
What, you get that?
Enhanced lung
Okay, I
capacity?
have super dodging ability and I can't get shot down. Like, what do you? We're playing.
No, just me in general. I have enhanced lung capacity. Ready?
I haven't breathed yet.
You took a little bit in. Oh my god. Is it just me or is everyone's face getting really red? I won.
All right, I believe you.
You remember
me dodge a
Stranger
bullet.
Things? You remember
Watch me dodge a
Seven
bullet.
from that show? They kept her in a cage and
Her
fucking.
name's not 7; it's 11.
They kept her in a cage and fucking poked
Yeah.
and prodded at her.
They kept her in a
fucking
cage.
poked
Yeah.
and prodded at her at the beginning of that show. Remember that?
I'm gonna flip your whole paradigm here.
Oh, my throat. Oh.
That shouldn't even be hurt. You didn't use it.
Or did he use his throat earlier? Ah! See what I did there?
For that. You were holding your breath. You weren't breathing, so your throat. I think because you were arguing on the fact that flight in America could get you shot down, you in your heart of hearts believe that flying would be a fun, magical experience.
Yes, it would be.
And if we lived in a government or in a society in America where they wouldn't shoot us down, then you wouldn't be as stressed.
Sure.
So here's my counterpoint. I'm just going to take my ass over to Spain. I have dual citizenship. I can go to France if I want. I can go to Sweden.
They're gonna put you in a box regardless.
Nope.
They're gonna put you in a. They're gonna extradite
No.
you,
Buddy.
You know what they
buddy.
did to fucking Pablo Escobar? They got him over here.
That is such a different situation,
No, it's
obviously.
not. No, it's
the
not.
French population rioted in the streets this past week because they raised the age of retirement by 2 years. They rioted. All right? I would be a
so you're
symbol
saying
of hope.
so you're saying the French government is just as evil and oppressive as the U.S.
I'm
government?
saying-
Oh, shit. Ludwig, you kind of shot yourself in the foot there. You're on a roll. You were on a roll. But then you just went pew pew right in the foot.
They got no power.
Pew,
The
pew, right in the
people will
foot.
roll over them.
Nuh-uh.
What's Macron's little tiny ass hand, baby ass hand
No,
gonna
they're
do?
gonna put you in a box too, brother.
You know where they'll never put you in a box?
Where?
Japan.
What does that mean?
They wouldn't put me in a box. They don't have an army in Japan.
Yeah, they would. They'd put you in a box.
They don't have an army?
They wouldn't put me in a box.
If I saw a random person flying around, I'd want them in a box. How about that?
Sweden, they'd love me there. They'd
I
love
would-
me in Sweden.
If you had someone with superpowers, you wouldn't.
Fjorsh. I'd be flying over saying that.
Fjord.
Klocka. You don't even understand what I'm saying. See?
You wouldn't put
George!
someone in a box and fuck with them if they had superpowers, just to do
George!
experiments on them and learn.
If I was in America, yeah, of course, it's my God-given right. But if I'm
Exactly.
outside of the confines of America, I'm fucking with that.
We know how powerful the United States government is.
True.
And you, as Ludwig, you are a high VIP, very important person in this country. If they see you flying around, flying away, they're not going to put up with that. They're going to send a plane wherever, and they're putting you in that box, and they're going to fuck with you. But
then
if they
you're gonna
get
say
me, they
Fjord's
put
in a
me in a
box.
box, guess what? I'm invisible now.
I've found a solution for this small, petty little problem that we can move on.
Ludwig, all you gotta say is they can see you with the thermal gun. You're not, dang it, hiccups get me every time. You're not invisible. You're invisible to the naked eye. You're not visible to other stuff. Stop it, Schlatt, stop it.
And start talking about new things.
Okay.
I'll just create an Epstein-like island with no nefarious activities. I just mean a secluded island that I get to fly in. So
Ludwig, very bad analogy. Like, of all the analogies you could have used, out of all of them, you said you're gonna create an Epstein Island first. Like, this is the internet. You get clipped, bruh. No, you can't create an Epstein Island. Even without that, stop. You should have said something else, dude.
So I'll make my own island that I go to fly in. It'll be
Such a
Ludwig
bad
Island.
analogy.
Nothing weird will happen there. I should have used a different island.
Yeah, look at, dude, Schlatt's just like, bruh, I use memes about 9/11, and I wouldn't have even said that.
But what I'm trying to say is I'll just find an island, and then that will be my island that I can fly in. It's my flying island.
Yeah, no. And then you keep like a little logbook of everyone who flies there.
No. There's no log. There's no log. Nobody works there.
There's
It's
no
just an
logbook.
island.
Everyone who flies at the island, you have a logbook of everybody who comes and flies there.
I feel like it's a good part of the podcast to let everybody know I'm not a predator.
They're gonna put you in a box, bro.
You're not gonna
They're gonna put you in a box
Ludwig,
wherever you
get rid
go,
of
Put me in a
and
box.
invisibility will get you out of any situation in which you're entrapped.
Yeah,
Where
that-
are you
that
flying
island
that's so
just screwed
important?
you,
Or is it just the act of
Ludwig.
flying that's fun?
I just would love. I think it would bring me immense joy to fly around the world. I watched this one video. You ever see it? The guy flies to McDonald's.
I think the best superhero power, I think it's got to be time travel, right? Because you're set for life. You want to talk about generational wealth. Have you ever heard of someone who won the lottery every single time? No. It's because we don't have anyone that can time travel. And here is Hot Sauce Beats, who just won his 115th lottery in a row. And he's officially the richest person in the universe.
On a like a paraglider thing.
No.
Look it up right now. Look it up.
No,
Look it up.
I
Don't
don't
be an
want-
asshole. Look
no.
it up. Look it up on your computer.
I don't want to.
What do you mean? What is this? What is this? What is that?
I don't.
Look it up.
I don't want to.
It's a cool contraption. It's a contraption that's cool.
He's not even really flying.
Obviously.
My invisible guys are the best.
What do you mean they're the best? No, they're bringing the worst invisible guys. Some good people, sure. Most invisible guys suck. All right, they only want to be perverts and they want to be little perverts.
I will say, when you just imagine someone being able to be visible, you already just imagine them being sus. Very suspicious. Very
Or-
What
suspicious.
the fuck? You just talked about buying an Epstein Island.
No,
And you
that's
talked about
such-
buying
that
a
is-
version of Epstein's
That
Island
is
to go there
such-
and have
that
your
is
fun.
such a mischaracterization.
You said I'm gonna buy a second version of Epstein's Island to go and have my fun there.
It's not like a lot of people buy islands. There's not like I don't have another island guy off the top of my head. So I was trying to think of an island that you
Hawaii?
could buy.
Long Island.
That's America. I'm trying to think of something that's not American that you could buy. I don't know a lot of island owners.
What country was Epstein's Island in?
It's its own thing. It's an island. It's not in a country. It's like an island.
It was in the U.S. It was in the U.S. Virgin Islands. You fucking idiot.
Flying is so dope. Flying would be
Dude,
so
you,
dope, bro.
you fucking idiot. My God.
Flying would be so dope.
I don't know who won that. I don't know who won that argument. That's tough. Maybe Schlatt did, just because Ludwig shot himself in the foot so bad with the Epstein Island part.
You think you could
I'm
buy
not sure.
a small island and not be under any jurisdiction?
Yeah, I thought I'd just buy a fucking island and then it'd be my fucking island. I didn't think I thought I could like piss and shit wherever I want and no one
You
freaked
thought
out.
it'd be your
You're
country?
a streamer, which means you only care about validation. So you'd only enjoy flying if people saw you flying.
Wrong.
Yes.
Wrong.
Why do you turn
Wrong.
into Trump when you
Folks, the greatest single joy
Folks.
that I have day to day.
fucking turns into Trump when he starts losing?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Life is about a pursuit of happiness. It's about finding joy, finding things that make you happy. There's a few things that make everybody happy. It's relationships. It's your fellow comrades. It's your loved ones. Money is financial freedom, which allows you to enjoy those things around you. But there's also other things. There's other things. Hobbies, gaming maybe. That brings you little bits of joy. The greatest joy I have in my day-to-day life outside of
Flying?
people is riding around my Vespa during sunset. There's a sense of sereneness and understanding that when this sun fades and this darkness comes over me, it's something that'll happen for billions of years after I'm gone. Now, being able to fly, right, would be such a different experience with the birds, with the noise, with the wind, all right, the sunset with a vantage point no one's ever seen. I feel like that experience alone,
He's selling it.
I
He's
could
selling
die
it.
happy.
He's painting you a picture.
Do you button up a shirt? Do you button it from?
Do you button up? Is there multiple ways? I'm guessing. Are they talking about whether you start from the top or the bottom? I'm start from the top, button it down.
From top to bottom or from bottom to top?
Who does bottom to top? That's weird. Because you gotta like put it together, whereas up here it's already like together and you just go down. But the bottom, I figure you'd keep having to like readjust it. Whereas if you go top to bottom, it's just right there.
Can we set some ground rules?
Okay.
What's the shirt? What's the occasion?
Button, shirt with buttons.
A jacket.
Sure. A jacket, a dress shirt can be really anything with
No,
buttons.
no. It's different.
Okay. You button different articles of clothing differently?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, that's a really good way to put my argument.
How do you do that? Can you explain it?
Well, I guess to preface, you button every single thing with buttons top down always.
Every single piece of clothing that I have that has buttons on it, I start at the very tippy top, or I start wherever I would like the buttons to start.
Yeah, I'm usually a second button down kind of guy. The top one, dude. I got a big neck, chat. I mean, look at my neck. Oh God, that stretch. Ooh, but wow, I look very stupid right now. But I got a big neck. I've never, dude. And I got a thing with being. Oh, it bugs me. I don't have like a thing. I don't enjoy it. It bugs. It scares me. So anytime, dude, like even ties, I gotta have them loose. But yeah, I'm a second button down guy, so about right here, and you start putting it down.
So sometimes that's at the top. Sometimes it's, if it's a dress shirt, I'll start at the...
Whoa.
What?
So it changes. It's not always at the top.
It starts wherever I want the buttons to start.
It starts at the topmost button you'd like buttoned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, understood. Now I'm going to give you an example here.
Okay.
You're going to a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Your friend is getting married. You are a groomsman. Congratulations, Schlatt.
Thank you.
All right, you got to wear a button down and tie.
Mm.
You are starting at the absolute throat crunching top button.
Okay, well, I'd start from maybe the second to top.
Oh, okay. Wow, falling apart really quickly, are we?
You are the motherfucker who said you start at the bottom. Can we talk about this for a second? You said you start at the bottom.
I don't remember Ludwig saying he would start from the bottom.
But I have flexibility.
Oh
All right. I do what is most convenient in my life. Sometimes that's the bottom. Sometimes that's halfway up. But I would never, ever start with the topmost
You
button.
argue so dishonestly, you stupid fucking bitch.
Whoa.
You stupid pinhead-looking pipsqueak motherfucker.
This is where he's going.
Take a stance.
You ramping it up so fast, bro. Woo! Jeez, that escalated quickly, chat.
Take a stance, mogul.
You're easy pickings.
I'm not easy. You do it weird.
You fall apart. All right. SVB is who I'm talking to right now. They're going to put you in a box. The way you button a button-down
They're
shirt.
not going to put me in a box. They're going to put you in a box because you're talking about starting Epstein Island
They're going
too.
to put you in a box because you button the top neck button.
See, this is what you did last time. This is what the viewers. This is what the viewers didn't see last time when I lost the audio, because you take each argument and you force it to its very extreme case that seems to make the rest of the common
good
sense
way to
of
argue,
my
though.
argument look a little silly. You haven't even said what you do.
I told you what I do.
You haven't even said what you do. What do you do?
I do what's most comfortable. So oftentimes that ends up being towards the bottom.
So the most comfortable is to start down here.
It would be probably in somewhere, maybe the third or fourth button up to create a bit of tension.
That's fucking insane.
That's roughly the same thing what Schlatt is saying, except reverse. He starts roughly the second. That's what I do. I start second and go down.
Same.
You need to create a bit of tension around the waist.
Why would you go 3 up, dude? Because then you gotta like measure, make sure you're putting the right button in the right hole. That's very weird too.
1, 2, 3, 4, and then you start here.
I'm not Count Chocula, buddy. I just look halfway down and I just grab the button that feels natural.
Like, it's so easy to tell from the top where the
What?
buttons start.
Because you didn't create tension.
What do you mean?
Because when you go from the bottom up, there's no tension, so the buttons become a little harder to grasp. It's like simple buttoning.
The buttons, they line themselves up when you start from the top. It's so easy to go to the next
That's
one.
not the top. You missed one. Go to the very top.
This is, okay,
There you
you
go.
already know how I
Oh,
feel about
no,
this.
no, no,
You
no.
already know how I feel about
Oh
this.
my God, don't do it.
Hey,
Don't
you
do
said
it.
top down. That was you said you always do top down.
This is,
Oh my God, don't do
anyone
it,
would
Schlatt.
say.
You
Undo
sound like you
that.
got a stoma.
I can't
anyone
breathe.
would say
I can't even breathe watching
that
it.
this is still top to bottom because you're starting
is. It is
basically
top
at the
to bottom.
top. And look, the buttons line themselves up. I don't have to guess.
I'm just giving you an example that immediately.
I don't think anyone buttons from the button. Chat, do any, right? I don't even think this is an argument. And really, Ludwig he's kind of iffy on what he's saying. Because he said he'll do whatever he's comfortable with. No, you never start from the bottom. No one. I'm pretty sure terrorists do. Osama bin Laden. He buttoned from the bottom up. And if any of you guys button from the bottom up, I'm sorry for comparing you to terrorists. I was just throwing a fact out there. Everyone knows that. You learn it in school. Osama bin Laden liked to button his outfit from the bottom up. It's just a fact. I'm sorry. I'm not meaning to compare you. I'm just stating facts.
Immediately deteriorated your argument of a dress shirt where you would not go top down. You would save the top for later. And so now I'm a crazy person, apparently. I'm a loony.
95% at the fucking top, bro.
Is that what you said earlier? Or did you say you always go top down?
Oh my Lord.
So let's have some consistency.
You distill it to the stupidest fucking edge case.
It's not an edge Schlatt.
It's so dishonest. It's so dishonest.
At its core, every single rule that you create in life should be applicable for all scenarios.
So you just live in this kind of amorphous state of, oh, I don't know. Whatever's good for me at that time.
Little baby said what?
Going back, what?
What's the next topic?
I'm not done.
Oh.
I think in general, most people will listen to what you just said, how you generally tend to button up and down your shirts from a middle point and then down all the way to the bottom of the shirt and then back to the middle and then up a little and then up a little until
maybe this will get you there. Maybe this will get you there.
Okay.
Sometimes I like feeling like a 90-year-old European who's just wearing the shirt way too open. You know what I mean? You know, you ever see those guys, those Europeans, they got like 3 buttons and it's like they got like white chest hair popping out.
Right.
But it's always like a little bold. I'm like, I can't go out. Like, this is I look crazy.
I get that.
I'm on my way to the Abbey right now.
Okay.
So then I get like throughout the night, I like start buttoning it up a little bit, like as I'm getting ready. But in the early.
So what I'm getting is that Ludwig, it takes him like a whole night to button up his shirt. You know, oh yeah, okay. I'm not as confident. Time to button up one more. Oh yeah, no one else has an open shirt like me. One more. Stop it. Stop it.
Early stages, I like feeling, at least role playing for a little bit, that I could have this level of confidence like a 90-year-old geriatric European.
But you don't.
But I usually end up going at some point from that bottom button where I'm European up.
And I think most people would just think that's an absurd postmodern nightmare.
You used that word without knowing how it fit in.
What?
What's postmodern about it?
I heard it on Fox last night.
That's problematic.
What do you mean? Ludwig, is water wet?
It's a good question, Sean.
God. I don't know. Before that, what was this, like a year or two ago where this went viral, the whole is water wet? I would have said yes, that it is wet. But the argument is that it's not wet, but it makes things wet. Those are the things. Water is just water. Water is not wet. Water is water. When water gets on things, it makes things wet. You know what I mean?
I think it's kind of a head scratcher. And my gut, in my heart of hearts, says, yeah, water is wet.
Why do you think water is wet? Let's dive in.
Such an idiot, dude. You're such
Water
an idiot, Schlatt, and I love it.
Is abundant.
I love Schlatt. In a very platonic sort of way. Schlatt would... I feel like if I met Schlatt in real life, me and him would be like, we would kick it old school, non-sexual style, and just be the best of friends. I would love to meet Schlatt. I would love to collab with Schlatt, pick his brain. I'd like to give him shit. I give him my 2 cents. Schlatt, yeah, bring me on a did Schlatt win? Yeah, I'll prove all the points wrong, Schlatt, that you're wrong, and I'm right. I'm right.
Is a thing.
Okay, well, hold on. Water creates the wet, I'd say. I don't think water is the wet.
I can understand that.
I'm talking like
I can understand
Starfire
it too.
from Teen Titans.
What?
If you have fire, if I lit my house on fire right now
Right.
and claimed
Right.
a shit ton of insurance money for it,
Right. So much.
honestly, I'm kind of thinking about it now that you planted
Okay.
that idea in my head.
You better hope you never have a fire, Schlatt, or else you're getting insurance fraud. No one's going to believe it.
Wouldn't announce it.
Would you
but-
say that the fire is burning? Is the fire itself, does it have that property of being burnt? Similarly, would water have the property of being wet? Is this a dishonest way of arguing? Because I don't think it is.
Yeah, I would say it's a little dishonest because being
a good
wet
point.
is not a permanent state, but being burnt is, right? Like you're changing the state of matter.
So when does something become wet?
So wet, I think, generally is a visual thing. Like you can see when things are wet, or you feel it with your senses. You can feel that is something is wet. And so sometimes something doesn't visually look wet. like a chair that's padded, but you sit down and it's very wet and your ass gets wet instantly. It's happened to all of us.
Okay.
Right? And you're like, I know it's wet because of that.
What does this have to do with water?
With water, I don't know if we can visually tell that it's wet because how do we separate water from being wet?
The water bestows the property of wetness. The water is not wet. The water is not wet itself.
All right, tell me why water isn't wet.
I don't know.
Okay.
Is a molecule of water wet, would you say?
I think any amount of water is wet.
Despite the fact that it's not sticking to anything.
I think that it's the ability is what I'm talking about.
I
How
don't
is
know.
water not wet? I don't know. I want to even understand a basis.
Because wet is the property of having water on it. That's
I think this argument is so epic because I don't think there's anyone that is 100% on either side because both sides make sense. Logically, you think water is wet, but the argument of why it is not wet is very believable and honestly even a little persuasive. I can be persuaded.
sticking to it. When you dry it, can you dry water?
Yeah.
If I'm wet, you can dry water.
Water evaporates.
Oh.
There is a set amount of water on Earth that came from meteors billions of years ago. We will never get more water. You know that, right?
We'll never get more?
We're never going to get more water, ever.
Really?
We have as much water as we will ever have, barring another meteor full of ice coming down to Earth. And if that happens, we got a lot more problems.
That's true.
And what do you think happens to the water? It recycles. It evaporates into the air and it falls back down. So yeah, water does by itself dry. You seem lost, buddy.
The property of being
seem
wet
lost,
is
buddy.
only applied by the water itself. The water has nothing to wet when it's a body.
Right.
It can wet the ground below it, perhaps, but in general, the body of the water itself can't be wet because wet is the property of having water sticking on it and affecting it.
Look, first off, I get the argument. I'm going to reach across the aisle here. You're saying that water doesn't change states. So it's either always wet or always dry. But maybe I argue a little differently here.
about when it's
Maybe in
frozen?
my mind, water, when it evaporates, when it becomes a gas, is no longer what we would call wet because it's not dense enough to make things wet. Now,
That's 100% not true. 100% not true. Think about steam, right? Steam, when you see steam and it, like when you're boiling a pot of water, that steam, when it hits something, it starts making droplets and it collects and yes, a gas is still wet.
there's certain points when it's in a gas state, if there's enough water, that it could make something wet. But most of the time when it's evaporating, the same reason you walk around, you're not instantly getting wet.
Like if you would put a towel over a pot of boiling water, that steam would then in return make that towel wet.
All right. Even on a very humid day, it's like, you know, you can feel that, right?
We're talking about fucking humidity. My God.
But you understand that there's a gradient of when water becomes gas, where we consider it dry, there's a dry day out, or wet, a humid day out.
So just like the button up, it just changes based on how you feel. There's no set answer.
Every single thing in this world is nothing except how we perceive it with our senses. What are you talking about? The world we perceive is different from
You're
other
so
creatures who
dishonest.
perceive
You're
it
so
differently.
dishonest.
It's not dishonest. It's trying to find truth in subjectivity.
You're terrible.
There's not a correct answer, Schlatt. We have a limited amount of senses, a limited amount of technology. What, Schlatt, buddy, it's a magazine, not a clip. Relax.
A magazine, not a clip.
This worked for Moist and Sneeko. I don't know if it's applicable for Water is Wet.
Okay, I have another one.
Okay, why do you have two? Just shush.
Dude, don't do that, bro. Hold on. I don't.
Jesus, Schlatt.
I'm sorry. God.
Oh my God, that would have been so bad if you killed yourself.
That would have been bad.
Oh, jeez.
Kind of like Epstein, you know? How he did that?
Maybe he got caught flying.
Maybe he did. Maybe they have him in a little box.
Maybe he got
poking and
caught
prodding
flying in
at
his
him like
jail
7.
cell.
It's 11.
Thanks so much for watching DidSchlattWin, everybody. You can go over to didschlattwin.com or follow us on Twitter at didschlattwin and vote in the poll to see who won all these fun, awesome arguments. Ludwig, thanks so much for coming on, man. Thanks so much.
Absolute pleasure, buddy. Can't wait to see the next British kid next week after you lost this one.
You got anything you want to shout out?
I don't want an island. I feel like maybe that's the one thing that's good. I don't want one. I just want to fly. I just want to fly in peace.
Yeah, you set yourself up for
did.
terrible,
Yeah, you
terrible press for that one.
Just want to fly. Just want to fly.
And you know what? We're leaving all of it in.
Please don't. Please don't.
Bye.
Please don't, though, right? You're not gonna.
Let's go.
Are we off? You're not gonna, right? Schlatt.
Bruh, let me bring you in. Oh my Lanta chat. Okay, we got a lot to unpack here. So I would go as far to say, I think overall, I think Ludwig won. Overall. I do think, however, though, that Schlatt, or I'm sorry, Ludwig really should not have said he wants to build Epstein Island. That was such the wrong thing to say. But I know it was obviously taken out of context. It's not what he meant. He just wanted an island. Yeah, I still think, I think the argument Schlatt made for Flight is the same for Invisible. The government will lock you up, blah, blah, blah. Flight is better than being invisible. Button a shirt. I think the button a shirt, I definitely got to go with Schlatt on. Again, roughly about 2-second button down, all the way down. And whatever Ludwig was saying with however I feel, maybe I'll start at the 3rd or 4th. That's weird. No one does that. Except Osama bin Laden. And then is water wet? Yeah, I don't know. They both kind of, I think we're almost arguing the same thing. I don't think either one agreed either way, but I just feel like Ludwig brought up better points on that one. But then Schlatt kind of dropped the ultimate bomb of you said Epstein Highlands. So I don't know, but what I do know was that this was amazing. I'm truly enjoying this series. Again, I think I gotta pick Ludwig as winning overall. Let me know in the comments who you guys think won. I hope you enjoyed this show. Did Schlatt win some love? I did it by subscribing to their channel. If you enjoyed my reaction, please help support the channel by smashing that subscribe and like button. It's absolutely free and it greatly helps out the channel. Enjoy the rest of your night, and remember, it's eat, sleep, and make beats, and as usual, be kind of one another. That's all I got. Boom. Gonna be love. Oh, this all gang. This all gang.